You shot straight, but you shot late. Hi, Lem. This is the Rundown Podcast.
I'm gonna give you the rundown.
And talking about, and I'm not asking you what someone said, but we talked about cooperating defendants in this case, one of which you met with was Hernandez Govan.
Correct.
On at least 2 occasions, correct?
Correct.
And he came in and gave you information about this case?
That's correct.
And he also did that, he had an attorney present, right?
Yes.
And he did that pursuant to an agreement, right, where he had protections, something called a proffer agreement, where he got to come in and say what he wanted to say without his words being used against him. Isn't that correct?
Correct. He had a proffer.
Right. And you understand that to mean that some people call that kind of a queen for a day agreement. He's allowed to come in.
Tell the truth.
Hopefully, right?
Well, that's on him, because then he loses the proffer agreement.
Right. Right. And that's the risk, right? People come in and lie.
Well, that's his risk then.
Right.
Right.
But the assumption is he tells the truth under a proffer agreement, and what he's telling law enforcement in that meeting, those words, they can't come in and use those words against him, right?
Yeah.
It's a form of something called use immunity, right? But they can't use those words.
March 10th, 2025 is the day Hernandez Govan is expected to stand trial for his alleged role in the shooting death of young Dolph. Prosecutors say there's still a lot that needs to happen before that court date.
There's a lot of pretrial litigation, motions, and things like that. Quicker would always be better, but there's reality.
Hernandez Govan made his first court appearance since his co-defendant, Justin Johnson, was found guilty of the murder of Adolph Thornton Jr., also known as Young Dolph.
As to the first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison.
Wednesday morning, it was determined when Govan would have his day to stand before a jury, but only if he chooses. He has until November 22nd, 2024 to enter a plea deal.
We are ready and have been ready to hold everybody accountable that was involved.
During Johnson's trial, there were explosive allegations made against Govan, claiming he helped orchestrate the $100,000 hit allegedly ordered by Anthony Big Jook Mims, and even fueled one of the shooter's drug problems. Govan did not testify during the trial.
I don't want to comment on sort of the evidence, at the trial or any evidence against Mr. Govan. We called the witnesses we called, and we think the jury did the right thing and held him accountable.
Also in court Wednesday was Jamarcus Johnson, Justin Johnson's half-brother. He pleaded guilty to 3 counts of accessory after the fact for helping his brother escape after the killing. His sentencing date is set for November 22nd.
Say man, hey man, it's OG Jucario. Now back at you with another one. And I had to come spin on the YouTube block about Hernandez Govan, the alleged mastermind in the Young Dolph murder trial. They're saying that Hernandez Govan has until November 22nd, 2024, right around the corner, to make up his mind if he's going to plead out or if he's going to take this thing on the trial like Justin Johnson, his homeboy. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see if Govan actually, takes this thing to trial so we can hear the details that he told the state, right? During this proffer agreement, time that he had to, be truthful about what he knew. It'll be very interesting to hear what exactly this so-called mastermind said, because I already know he had to give up somebody bigger than himself, right? To make this deal even worth it. Why would the state, why would they deal and, wheel with Hernandez Govan? It's because he had information on who the real mastermind was, and that was Big Jook. So maybe we'll get a chance to hear the intricate details that Govan gave up, right? The information that he gave the state, for this deal that he made, this proffer agreement, right? And who knows what type of reduced time, he got cut from his sentence, right? If it was other things promised for this testimony. But as we've seen with Cornelius Smith, the state, Paul Hagerman, was, directly asking Cornelius Smith on record, You know, we didn't make you any promises. You wanted to do this, you know, on your own. You wanted to confess on your own, right? And Cornelius, you know, agreed that these were all, you know, things that he wanted to say, things he wanted to expose about the old Dolph murder. Wow. So the judge already has it lined out. The courts there are saying, you know, he could take this plea deal by November 22nd, 2024, and let us know what we're going to do and what he's planning on doing. If Govan pleads out, then guess what? That court date that the court has set, that trial date, right, for March 10th, 2025 goes away. It's not needed anymore because it's going to take a plea deal, right? And then we might not hear those details, those intricate details that Govan told the state and what type of information that he gave up. And so as we know, Govan had to give up some information that was more valuable than the information that they had on him. And being that he knew, right, that Anthony Big Mims Jook, you know what I'm saying, was the one who actually put up the money and who wanted, you know, hurt, harm, and danger and death to come to these paper route artists, right? Big Jook and the Mims brothers was basically being pointed at by Govan in this proffer agreement to being the ones that actually orchestrated the whole ordeal, right? They were putting out bounties on the paper route artists' heads and the CEO Dolph, right? So with Govan allegedly already telling this information, so as Cornelius Smith said during his testimony on the stand, he said Govan had already been talking. And since Govan was already talking, we might as well tell the truth about everything, right? And so Govan was already talking according to Cornelius Smith, and with this proffer agreement, that right there proves that, you know, Cornelius Smith was, you know, telling the truth about everything that he knew about, you know, who was talking first and who was giving up information. And this indeed happened to be Govan, with Govan taking a proffer agreement, and Cornelius took one too. But, you know, the way Cornelius is putting it out there, that he didn't tell till after he found out Govan told. So leaving Govan to have been the one to blow the cover on the whole hit on PRE, right? Funded by CMG. No other than Big Jook is who Anthony Mims is, who they're placing the blame on. And the half brother, Jamarcus Johnson, he will have his trial date set on the day November 22nd, when Govan has to go back and, you know, have his answer ready for if he's going to take a plea deal or take it to trial. So as of this moment, we have Justin Johnson, aka better yet known as rapper Straight Drop. His sentence is just beginning. His life sentence in prison, right? After being convicted of killing rapper Young Dolph. And now you have Hernandez Govan, the alleged mastermind. Guess what? He's back out on the streets of Memphis. That's right. He's back and doing his thing, you know, gambling and doing what he knows best, right? And he said, holler at William Massey, his lawyer, if anything is a problem in the time being. And he's still free at the moment as well. And Cornelius Smith, he's still doing time in the Shelby County Jail. And as far as Cornelius Smith, they haven't, you know, been informing us on if Smith is going to have a trial or not. But, you know, assuming that since he's already testified in one trial regarding the Young Dolph murder, I'm pretty sure that he's going to take a plea deal and just take his time, you know, in sentencing in that manner. But Hernandez Govan, we're definitely watching. He's on the clock, right? Tick-tock. And look, man, say, man, hey, man, hey, man. Study wrong, you study long. And they told us that Cornelius also took a proffer deal. That's why he was up there, you know, telling the truth, right? He took that proffer deal. And as you heard, you know, the detective say that if you lie, right, if you're being untruthful, you say anything outside of that proffer agreement that you already done testified to, right, in the interrogation room, it was recorded, right? That's how they got all this information, right? So, you know, he had to tell the truth and, you know, state all the facts as he knew it to be true. You know, and he said he wasn't looking for any type of gain from this. No type of reduced sentence or anything. Just, he wanted to tell the truth. So is Govan dragging this whole ordeal out? Because him and his lawyer could have been told the courts that they want to go to trial by now, right? Being that the deadline is coming up on having to make a decision on if you're going to go to trial or not, or take a plea deal. So I'm pretty sure, you know, Govan is just dragging this whole ordeal out to take the plea. That's just my opinion. So it's all going to be pretty interesting. So I'll definitely keep y'all updated if Hernandez Govan takes it to trial or if he takes a plea deal. So until the next time, this is OG Jucario TV with the latest in hip-hop, rap, celebrity, and urban news. You're watching the Rundown Podcast. I appreciate everybody for spending with me. I appreciate all my subscribers for sliding with your boy every time. And say, man, hey, man, keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button, and look, turn on post notification so we can slide whenever I get the drop. You already know what it is, man. It's deep in the Buddha, her, you hear me? And guess what? I'm gone.